Hello everybody and welcome to week 5 of the PBL. I am Evan, head coach of the Saffron City Sneasels, and this week I am taking on Ian, head coach of the Lake of Rage Qwilfishes. This is a matchup that I always look forward to. I always look forward to battling Ian. He goes out with his Coltrane baby, the Zera Aura, which has been very highly sought after in the league as he has put it up on the trade block. He and I almost had a trade go through, but it fell through in the last few moments before the deadline, unfortunately. That's okay, though. I made a trade that I feel very good about anyway. I start off with LeCharles, Charizard. He goes for a close combat. I knew that he didn't have anything that could one-shot me. So close combat was kind of a weird choice. I think maybe he should have Volt switched out or just switched. I go for the Fire Punch, which normally wouldn't kill, but because of the close combat, it did kill. I didn't know he was going to go close combat. I was just ready to hit something with the Fire Punch. So after that, he goes out to the Necrozmancer, Necrozma. And I'm just going to Roost, because the only thing that this thing could have to hurt me would be Power Gem. And at full HP, it's going to do... Well, it's not going to be enough. He goes out for the Thunder Wave, paralyzing my guy, which is a good move on his part. I'm a little upset to have it paralyzed, but it's not a huge deal. He's still going to be able to have his chances to hit hard against certain things, particularly Pyukumuku or Chansey. I'm just going to go out to the Eraserhead my Greninja on this turn because I figured he's going to want to attack, and either it'll be the Power Gem, which won't kill, or it'll be the Photon Geyser. It was the Photon Geyser, so I'm immune, and he goes out to his Rotten Egg. I know he's probably going to switch out fearing the Dark type move, or maybe a Stab U-turn, so I just go out for my Spikes. I'm running Spikes this week. One of the great things about my Greninja is he can do almost anything, and it's really frustrating for an opponent to play in for it. I'm going to U-turn on out of here. While I figure this thing is going to be pretty passive, I want to get somebody out here who can harass it a little bit, maybe take care of that Eviolite. He goes out for his Stealth Rocks, which I'm not as concerned about anymore because Charizard has Mega Evolved, another advantage of leading off with him. And Batata is going to have a good opportunity to do something. I figure he will switch out to preserve his Eviolite, so I think I should just go for Stealth Rocks here, because I want to layer up my hazards. And he goes out to Leviathan, the Serperior. Serperior last week missed a very important Leaf Storm, as well as I think a second Leaf Storm later in the game. And I only mention that for what's going to be coming up right here. I go out to my Crobat, Pink Lemonade, and after the Stealth Rock damage, I am going to deftly dodge the Leaf Storm. I do want to make it kind of clear, though, that while in the previous match maybe it did matter a lot that the Leaf Storm missed, in this matchup it did not really at all. Pink Lemonade was able to take a Leaf Storm with my HP investment and only take about 20%. Had he hit the first one and he wanted to stay in, still it wouldn't have been much because I ×4 resist. So I figure he's going to switch out fearing a Brave Bird, so I'm just going to Whirlwind and start stacking those hazards. And sure enough, I come right back out to the Leviathan, which is really good for me. So I get the Spikes and the Stealth Rocks, and now I'm sitting pretty, and I can either Whirlwind him again, but I figure he'll kind of expect that and he'll want to stay in. So I'm just going to go for the Brave Bird coming up here. And here comes the Brave Bird, and it is going to secure the KO. I don't know if he had an HP investment, but if he had a little bit of HP investment, I needed the hazards to kill. Otherwise, it would have one-shot normally if there was no investment. So I get the KO. I kind of chalk that up to my preparation. Crobat was designed specifically to handle Serperior, and there's almost nothing Serperior can do to Crobat at all. He goes out to Mamoswine, which is a Pokemon that has given me trouble in the past. Last season, when Casey had it, a Choice Scarf variant shut me down and ruined my perfect season, and I'm still a little sad about that. So I was very careful with this Mamoswine. Like, I wanted to make sure I definitely had answers. And one of my answers was my Melodic, Max Physical Defense and Bold Nature this week. And an Icicle Crash does very little. An Earthquake would have done more, but I still would have been able to take a hit and recover, even if he was faster for a second hit off. And he goes out to Kevin, his Pyukumuku. I figured he was going to go out to Kevin. So I'm going to, I think, yeah, okay, I do go out for the Toxic. So after my hazards, beat him up, and I get my status, I'm feeling really comfortable in this matchup. The goal going into this matchup, taking a step back and looking at it in the big picture, was stack up hazards against Ian's team because the Lake of Rage Qwilfishes have only one legitimate hazard remover, which is Superior, and Superior can be abused all day long by my Crobat. So I figure Spikes, Stealth Rocks, and just Harass. And it works out very well for me. Right, as you can see, I've whittled down the Kevin, I think not even landing a single hit on it. He has to waste a turn recovering, giving the Canker Sisters a free switch in. I'm going to go out to the Dark Pulse, and that is going to flinch him, which sucks for him. 20% chance to flinch, doesn't feel good. Not game-changing, though, because I don't think he could do anything other than maybe really Toxic me. And then with the Toxic chip damage, I do manage to finish off with another Dark Pulse. He goes back out to the Chansey, and with an Eviolite still on, I'm not going to be able to really touch Chansey at all with Hydreigon. So I go back out to Batata. I've got my knockoff ready to be used, and on top of that, I am immune to... Does this thing even get Thunder Wave? I'm actually not sure. I think it does get Thunder Wave, and I'm immune. And I'm also immune to Toxic because of the ability Immunity. So all you can really do is Seismic Toss me. And that's what he goes for. He goes for a Seismic Toss. And I went for my knockoff. So in the end, that turn was a win for me. I took more damage, but I can always roost up if I need to. He can't get his Eviolite back. And he goes out to the Roadhog because obviously Ice is times 4 effective against my Batata. And I'm just going to go for the Toxic because I figure he'll be switching out now. And I didn't know who exactly he'd go out to, but whoever it was, I'd be happy Toxicking them. So now I've statused, I think, 2 of his Pokemon. Yes, 2 of his Pokemon. And the hazards continue doing their work. I'm going to go out to the Linguini, who is going to be able to once again tank whatever he's got coming for me, barring anything like a critical hit, of course. And here comes the Earthquake, and as you can see, there is a critical hit. So, that's fine. I got a flinch on 20%, he got a critical hit, kind of a wash. I don't really consider the Leaf Storm miss to be that big of a deal, so I'm not really factoring that in terms of the RNG. Had it been on a Pokemon that it actually could have done damage to, I would have maybe considered Ian kind of getting jerked around with the RNG. So I go out to the Greninja, and he has to switch out fearing a water move. And I go for the Low Kick because if he stays in, Low Kick one-shots, and if he switches out to Chansey, Low Kick will be able to two-shot thanks to the hazard damage. And sure enough, he goes to the Chansey. I get the Low Kick, and I can finish up with a second Low Kick. So things are working perfectly. Everything I have had planned is kind of just clicking into place. So I've been, to this point in the match, very comfortable, very happy with what I've done. Hazard damage continues to chip, and he brings out the Necrozma. As I've already shown, I have U-turn, and I'm definitely faster. So I'm just going to pivot on onto there for big damage. And that is big damage, even with the ability that reduces super effective damage that looks to do over 50%. And I'm going back out to my Canker Sisters. Because of Photon Geyser, I'm immune. And I've seen Thunder Wave. This thing doesn't really care about Thunder Wave at this point in the game. He misses the Thunder Wave. And, well, he Rage Quit. The Lake of Rage Qwilfishes Rage Quit. That was very surprising to me. Missing the Thunder Wave doesn't really impact the end result of the game. The game was pretty much over. Had he got the Thunder Wave, I would have probably just continued to Dark Pulse. He had a Mamoswine in the back. I could have either let something die or just, after hazards, the Dark Pulse would have chipped it down, switch out, maybe sacrifice something, and then easily Low Kick with my Eraser Head to get the KO. And then Necrozma obviously can be taken out with numerous attacks from numerous Pokemon. The forfeit is kind of controversial. I understand that Ian has had a rough start to the season, going 0-5 to begin the year. That being said, the forfeit did upset me. I'd be lying if I said it didn't. I think it's not the best display of sportsmanship, but sometimes in the heat of the moment, I think you can get kind of upset. And I'm sympathetic to that. Missing a Thunder Wave after also missing a Leaf Storm and getting flinched probably doesn't feel good considering the previous week he had a lot of bad RNG, but I will firmly state that I believe that none of those 3 RNG related things mattered, even compared to the critical hit that he got on his Mamoswine. His 1 RNG thing favored him heavily, more heavily than my 3 RNG things. I guess you could argue maybe the flinch on the Pukamuku mattered a bit more, but I really don't think it could have done much. Maybe he could have recovered, and then I would have just continued Dark Pulsing. I don't know. But that's the end of the match. Good game, Ian. I hope to see you turn your season around, because I know you're a capable player, and you've had some bad luck, and I think you drafted a team that maybe isn't your typical play style. Thank you guys all for watching the video. Tune in next week when I take on our commissioner, Nick, of the Mount Silver Scyther. That should be a very exciting match, as Nick and I are tied at 4-1. So check it out. See ya.